plaintiff, Veronica Craig, says the defendant is her cousin, and Veronica claims she had a rough childhood because the defendant's mother was not a good role model. Veronica says she tried to help raise the defendant to be a responsible human being, but she's suing her today for car damages and defamation. Defendant Dionysia Bullock Brown says she went into the foster care system when she was 12 years old. And if Veronica cared about her so much, she would have gotten her out of the system. Dionysia is countersuing for car payments, car repairs, and the cost of a license plate.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
I would like to say, I know Dionysia's really had a hard time growing up because her childhood wasn't too nice. She grew up with family members like her mom that really were not positive role models. Our family tried to actually shield them, shelter them, protect them, and just try to raise them to be responsible human beings. I know Dionysia's had things rough for her. She's actually tried to do things to make her life better. I know she does have 3 children, but she cares for them as best as she can. And I know she does have a chronic illness that she actually was diagnosed with earlier this spring, but she is still continuing to try to provide for her children.
Good. So you've said good things about her. Mm-hmm. Let me hear from you. She's still drinking that whiskey. She must still have it. You said she was straight now. She's got to have her a shot in here.
No. I have a cold. I have a cold. I got sick on the way here.
Clears everything
with whiskey in. Oh, okay, that's what they call it now. No, it's water. Go ahead. You give me some background.
Veronica is my cousin, but I call her my aunt because she's older than me. I actually thought she cared about me, but I see that she really doesn't because she took the time out to bring me on this show. And me and her...
Well, sometimes that is showing that you care because unfortunately a lot of people solve conflicts outside the court. So she has done the right thing when she has a dispute, particularly over money. So let me hear some more about you. This is your aunt and she's been all right with you most of your life?
No.
Why? Tell me what has happened between the two of you.
I never really seen her much when I was younger. I went in foster care when I was 12. Mm-hmm. And I honestly feel like if they cared so much, they would have got me and my sister out of the system. But
your mother didn't care?
My mom did care, but she had ended up getting incarcerated. And she asked some of the family members, can they take over and get us? Nobody wanted us.
Oh, okay. If she cared that much, she wouldn't get incarcerated. She would obey the law knowing that she had children who would be abandoned to the foster care system. So I think you're blaming the wrong person. You said everything about her and everybody else who didn't take care of you and who don't care about you other than the person who is legally required, morally required, spiritually required, every other type of requirement you can think of is on mama.
Honestly, she was never around. Ever.
Your mother?
No,
yes.
and
I'm talking about your mother right now. You keep acting like she was the devil and abandoned you. Your mother abandoned you. This woman has done nothing but help you from all I've heard. I'm not going to let you come in here and make her look bad because she didn't do something. Because she didn't do something. Put her out. Put her out. Because she didn't do something that your mother should have done, and you say nothing. Go ahead, why are you suing her? Lock her up again if she keeps talking. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Judge Mathis, can I say one thing, sir? I have an actual signed statement here from my mother. My mother will let you know that, true enough, I wasn't always in the house. I was financially responsible for Dionysia and her sisters when they were in my mom's care.
You were financially responsible?
Yes, because they were at my...
Why didn't you stop paying? You didn't care?
No. Okay. No, when they were smaller,
Did she know this part?
I don't know, but I can... my mother was...
All right, tell me about the lawsuit today.
Okay. Well, the reason why we're here is because there were damages done to my car while they were in the...
What does she have to do with your car? Let's start there.
Oh, well... I actually allowed her to use my vehicle.
You didn't care, so why would you do that? person don't care, don't let other folks use this stuff.
And I understand, and I
You
can
say
show
you can walk, go by train, however you're going to get there, but you're not using my car.
I can show
Go
you
ahead.
text messages when she tells me she loves me, and I tell her I love her back.
All right, and let's get back. You decided to let her use your car.
Yes.
When was that?
That was back, actually, we talked about it on May 8th of this year. May 9th, she actually came and picked up the vehicle. I was told on May 8th by her mother that Darrenisha didn't have transportation. She got a new job and she would not be able to get there without transportation. If you look on there, my mother also told me to go ahead and let her use it because the vehicle was just sitting outside my house. I was not using it.
Okay, and so what happened?
The agreement came when we actually spoke on the 8th and also spoke again on the 9th. I let Darrenisha know that I do not need the car. The car actually reminded me of something that was very unpleasant. My daughter, in November 16, I bought it for her graduation present. In November 16, it caught on fire when my daughter was driving it. So I just really didn't want any parts of it.
She survived then.
Yeah, she's in school. Yeah, she's fine.
Okay, so what was the agreement?
The agreement was for Darrenisha to keep up the maintenance and repairs and do not let anyone else operate my vehicle. Those were the only two stipulations I put on it. I also explained to Darrenisha that I had a balance still on the car and I was responsible. She said she would be willing to pay me $200 a month to help me advance paying the actual car off.
How much were you paying with your payment?
$442
So you
a
were
month.
giving it to her half off.
Yeah, and also I included the insurance too, because I know she does not have the
You
money
really
to pay all
cared.
that.
Go ahead. Not only did you care,
it was in
you
your
really
name.
cared. Go ahead.
It was in your name. You was paying on it if the car was in your name, so I had to keep paying you until next May so you could put the title on my name.
After it was paid off, Darrenisha.
Exactly.
Did you pay it
Because I could have
off?
paid my own
Did she
insurance
pay it
around
off?
me. You know
Did
it.
What happened with the payment?
Oh, she paid for the month of June and the month of July. August, Darrenisha was in the hospital. She actually had to have surgery or something like that. And what happened was I had got a call letting me know that my vehicle had been damaged. They said it was the windshield that had been busted. Well, I didn't know. I had to check on Darrenisha anyway, so my sister and I both went to the hospital. At the time, Darrenisha was in surgery. So we went to the parking lot at the hospital to look for the vehicle to see what was going on. It wasn't there, so we drove to her residence to see what was going on. I drove up. First thing I see is this, the window being busted up.
Go ahead.
So what next I did was actually I went to the house, knocked on the door. Her mother was there with her children. I asked the mother exactly what happened. That's when she said some children in the neighborhood or someone hit it with a rock. I'm like, well, where's the report? Or from the police, or did you get one for security? She said she wasn't sure, that Darrenisha would know. And then next thing I did, I asked her where the keys were. And she did give me the keys. I didn't think I had to explain anything else. I asked her to please come and remove Darrenisha's items from my car. Well, she did come down like she was gonna do this. All she did was reach above the visor, above the driver's side.
So what happened to the agreement?
The agreement failed because of...
What did she do wrong?
What did she do wrong?
Yes.
She allowed her mother to operate my car, and she doesn't even have a license.
All right. Let me hear from you, ma'am. She said you all had an agreement and you broke
Yeah, she said I broke the
material part of
agreement.
it.
I ended up in a hospital August 1st. I normally pay her every month on the 1st.
Let's start back to that agreement because you needed a car, and what we've heard is that the cousin that you claimed didn't care about you was the one that stepped up and put her credit on the line for you. And in fact, she did it at half the price she was paying.
Okay.
Sounds like somebody that cares to me.
Okay, well, first of all, she been had the car. It was her daughter's car. So she gave me the car, what was it, May 9th, 2017. She said pay her $200 a month. And I said, okay, that's fine. I was paying her $200 a month for June and July. Then I paid her $150 for the plates, and then the alternator went out and the battery went out on the car. I paid for that too also. As far as the window being broken, I was at my friend's house getting my hair done. I got a statement for that too. I left her, when I got ready to leave her house, the window was cracked on the house. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Somebody tried to break in or something. She said they get a lot of break-ins at her apartments. Her car has even been broken in. They had stole her radio and everything out of her car. I was getting the window fixed on August 4th at 10:30, but I ended up in a hospital on the 1st. I thought it was my Crohn's that was messing up, so they kept me in the hospital from August 1st to August 7th. Then they found out that it was my gallbladder that was infected and needed to be removed. Then I got a call from my mom. Aunt Ronnie came and took the car. I was like, why would Aunt Ronnie come and take the car? I'm paying her, and I told her I'd pay her when I get out the hospital for the month of August. She's like, because of the window, and you said because I drove it. My mother only came to the hospital to pick up that car to drive it. My mom picked up the car from the hospital, drove it to Walmart, because my kids did not have no food with me sitting in the hospital. And y'all know this. And went to Walmart. My mom didn't even want to pick up the car because she didn't have license. She thought, are you sure? I was like, who else going to do it? So I'm like, what's the big problem?
Okay. How does she defame you?
There were several different text messages on Facebook that was basically sent to my daughter.
Saying what? What to your daughter? Well, your daughter needs to sue. What did she say?
No,
did she mention you?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
She made it seem like I was trying to take advantage of her.
All right, you got to read
lying.
something. Read something that made you look bad. That's a lie, and that she intentionally lied. She intentionally lied to others to make you look bad, and it did make you look bad. That's defamation. So I'll let you get your paperwork together there. What I'm hearing is that you believe she breached the agreement by coming to get it because you have a reasonable explanation for your mother having to use the car. And I would think so too, based on what I'm hearing, if that's the only time that it happened, or even a couple of times if you were in the hospital in particular and she's caring for the children. So that's reasonable, but that's not the issue today because we are just discussing the damages. Mm-hmm. But you want your car payments back, and you want the car repairs, and you want the license plate that you paid for. Tell me how so.
Because the man told me that the alternator was already bad, and they said that the battery had acid all over it. And she told me nothing was wrong with the car. The car was good.
What year was it? What year was it?
This year, 2017.
What year is the car?
It's a 2012.
She said nothing was wrong with the car. They got it
2012. How much did you spend? You had to get what? You have your list?
I had to get a new alternator and, you want it?
Yes.
Okay.
You can read that one.
Okay. I had to get a new alternator, and I had to pay for the labor and a brand new battery, and then I had to get a diagnostic.
All right, I see. What was the agreement on taking care of it, ma'am? Repairs?
I told her she was responsible for the repairs and the maintenance while she had it in her
Did she tell you that?
She told me to make sure I keep the car up. I kept the car up.
Well, then that's what that meant, making the repairs. And the license plate fee, how does she owe you for that?
Because I paid for them license plates and she took the car.
Paid for them for whose use?
For mine.
Okay. And how long did you keep it?
Only 2 months.
Okay, you kept the car for 2 months, but you got that for your own use.
But I didn't get the plates until
But you had to get them. Regardless of how long you kept it, you would have had to get them. And car payments, why do you want them back?
Because I'm not going to pay somebody for a car that they said I can have as long as I pay it off by next year.
Didn't you use it for the months that you paid her for?
Yes, but it was
well, if you used it, you need to pay her. Remember, she doesn't care, so she wouldn't give you anything free.
So now I don't have a car. I'm out of money.
You used the car.
But sir, the car was giving me problems. I got the car fixed.
Right.
And she just
and that was your agreement with her.
But she
so
took the car.
I'm going to dismiss your defamation unless you have it now.
Here it is.
Read what she says about you.
She said, I was having surgery. She went to my house and took it with not even reason. No reason at all.
That's defamation?
Yeah.
All right. I don't think she intentionally lied on you to hurt your reputation. She believes you didn't have a reason to take it. That's her belief and her opinion. I'll grant you your car damages, $485. That's my decision, and your claim is dismissed. Have a good day, ladies.
Okay.
I have nothing else to ever say to you because then, Ronnie, you know, I took care of that car. You knew that. I paid you everything. And now I feel like you're taking from me and my kids. You got me and my daughter walking to a bus stop when I didn't sit here and gave you all this money for this car and took it because you knew I was in surgery. If you feel like you wouldn't wanted to take your car, you should have said something to me.
No, what you don't understand is what financial responsibility is.
Yes, I do. What have I done wrong? What have I done? I took care of that car. I was getting that window fixed on the 4th. Shut the stop talking to me because I told you I was gonna get that window fixed.